Triple M NRL Daily, the Journos edition. Adam Peacock alongside Danny Weidler from 9 News.
The inside story about Brandon Smith and the gambling issues.
And Michael Chammas from the Sydney Morning Herald.
Yeah, and how the Sydney Roosters Rabbitohs feud is bubbling along nicely out of this big game on Friday night. I'm sure you'll get me into some sort of trouble with a stupid question that you always ask.
Plus plenty more with the Broncos, Raiders and Dragons. Here we go. Welcome, gentlemen. How's your week been?
I don't know. It's been, fun. Always. It's that time of year. You know? I can't wait for the finals, Adam. I'm really pumped.
Yes, you can. There's enough happening to keep you
I know,
going before then.
I don't love the period between Origin and the lead up to the finals. I like, you're waiting for something, and we're almost there. It's fantastic. I'm happy.
Chamois?
Yeah, good. I'm running out of small talk topics. It's a bit awkward when you have to have a small talk topic to come into this conversation to start with, and I haven't really got one today.
Well, I got one. And it's not really a small talk one because it folds into our lead rundown item, and it goes to potentially the best headline I've seen all season, and it was a quote in the headline. It was, "No one should act on the advice," in relation to Reece Walsh drinking toilet water. That's the stuff.
Well, that's all you can do in
genius.
that situation is take the piss out of the situation. You like that? Yeah, pun intended.
That's actually pretty good for you,
Great.
Yeah,
Chammy.
good. Thank you.
It was clean water, though. Hadn't been used.
Look,
though.
Hang on. Listen, so Josh Reynolds was on radio the other day.
Yeah.
I was talking to him about this on Big Sports Breakfast, and he claims to have some sort of plumbing background.
Yeah.
And his message to Reece was, hey, if you reckon that the plumbers haven't used this or people who are working on your house haven't used this, look, the Broncos are trying to say it was installed by Reece and his dad, apparently, or a family member.
Yeah.
So hopefully for Reece's sake, there were no other workers anywhere near this situation, because otherwise he may have been drinking from a used... Like, the fact that we're talking about this is absolute lunacy.
It's amazing.
Well,
it's an amazing story.
It is absolute lunacy.
When it popped up, someone sent me the DM with the video. And
You
I
get
was
interesting DMs, Chammy.
Yeah.
People drinking toilets.
Someone forwarded me that video, and first reaction was, like, obviously, as everyone else, what the hell is he doing?
My first reaction was, is it AI?
No, unfortunately, the history would suggest it's probably he's got form. He's got form, Reece boy.
Well, he's drunk from a toilet before.
Just silly videos.
Who hasn't?
Didn't he punch his mate or something? What was that? That was a bit funny. This one was just like, what the hell are you doing? And we were sitting planning for 100% footy at the time, and I was just like, we'll let this one go through to the keeper. And
You editorialised.
well, we had a chat. And we decided not to go with it.
What would have been a tipping point?
He's done nothing wrong. It was a stupid move, but it's not. He hasn't harmed anyone.
What if he ate a trough lolly?
Well, that
Did
used
you
to be a
run
thing
that?
back in the day.
I've heard someone had done that back in the day.
Back in the day, that used to be a thing.
In rugby league?
I just think in general.
Oh, in life.
Like I won't say the Brisbane official I was speaking to, but they said, look, back in the old days, that used to happen.
What about the bubbler as well? Didn't Todd Carney? Wasn't that the final straw for Todd Carney?
It was.
Yep.
It was. That was the end. Look,
The bubblers are different to the. What do we call this one?
the bowl.
The bowl.
Trip to Boggo Road. Brisbane.
The bubbler was such a big
Pioneer.
story at the time too.
Yeah, because it was in public as well. Was it a pub or something? I can't remember.
But just on this, the headline that they've come up with there, that's pretty good sub-editor work.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a headline on your Sunday article that you've opened it up and gone, oh no,
Tiffany Salmon definitely thought that.
oh no,
Yeah, she didn't
what's
like the
happened
headline.
Because the headline, again, to everyone out there, you don't believe it, I know, but the journalist who writes the article doesn't do the headline.
Yeah.
It makes a suggestion,
Eh.
or you got in your contract that you Peter
No,
Fitzsimons,
it's-
are you? You
we-
say
we-
that this is the headline.
For years, we've been going to people and saying, I didn't write the headline, but I have to say it, and it'll be the same across the road. The system allows us to put the headline in. We have to put a headline in. Maybe not for the paper, but what goes online, we put the headline in, and the editors have the power to change it. But sometimes you do the old, it wasn't me, it was the editor, when damn right it was you.
Well, I before my column goes to print, I read my column, obviously, and I get a proof of it. And if I really hate the headline, I'll say, hey, listen, that's...
Can you twist it?
Yeah, or that's a little bit...
Yeah.
far-fetched, but it doesn't happen often. The people doing those jobs are very good at those.
Because there's buzzwords that you want in the headline, because that, especially in the day of the click, and the age of the click, I should say, that's going to be clicked on, because the word, you look at news.com.au and the word outrage is on every second headline because... Or bombshell, or has...
Shout out to Pete Bedell, loves a bombshell, Pete Bedell.
You know what I hate in the clicking world is when there's a story with a headline, you have to subscribe to it, but there's a photo which doesn't actually relate to what the story's about. Like I say, massive news about Broncos star. It's got a photo of two blokes, and it's always the lesser bloke in the photo. So you're smiling because
I'm laughing because I've been just thinking about things that have been popping up lately on mine. I'm getting a lot of Danica Mason and Liam Knight photos popping up in mine at the moment.
Yeah,
yeah.
Does Danica know about this?
I don't know.
What are you looking at to get those sort of things?
It's flooding my my.
What's the latest with Danica Mason and Liam?
I don't know. It said something about a twist in the romance. Did something happen? Did I miss something?
Well, I can tell you that Liam, I think he busted his leg or had some sort of injury.
So that's the twist in the romance.
And the twist in the romance is he's able to come home early to see Danica, and good luck. You know,
they're in the same hemisphere. It's a big twist.
You know what? The amount of media interest in that is crazy.
Well, certain people become all of a sudden like almost algorithms themselves.
Danica regularly has paps outside her house.
Really? What?
Yeah.
Ryan Pappenhausen. Sorry. So couldn't help
That's
myself.
a bit weird.
Couldn't help myself.
AVO on Paps.
Paparazzi, I should. And she's a pretty, I've known Danica for over a decade. She's a low key sort of person. She's not doing anything outrageous. She's a
like going down to get bread from the
shop. Or go for a run with the dog Charlie, or or go for a walk. But it's the same photo all the time. They're wearing the same gear. She might be with Liam. She might be with her dog Charlie. It is over the top. But she's obviously clickbait. I mean, someone like back in the day, Erin Molan was clickbait. Joey,
she's still trying her best there as well.
Joey, clickbait. Gus.
Oh yeah,
the ultimate
at Hull Street.
The
king of clicks.
He's the king of clicks. I understand why the old buzzard writes about him all the time. He gets good rates on it.
100%.
Oh, that's right.
Back to Brisbane. Have they got a cultural issue on the cusp of the finals? Shibasaki got on the gas when he wasn't meant to. Reece is drinking toilet water. What's happening?
Probably obviously the more serious thing is Shibasaki, and it reminds me of what happened this time last year. It's different incidents, but a big name player, loosey goosey, around the time of finals, Josh Addo-Carr, and that was a major. Canterbury tried to play it down in terms of what impact it had.
Oh, when he went looking for the phone charger.
The phone charger, right. At the 7-Eleven or whatever it was, or the Quickie Mart or whatever they call it. And that
Quickie Mart.
What's it called?
Over here.
What's it called? Easy Mart.
Easy Mart.
Sorry. Easy Mart. Quickie Mart.
Is that what?
Easy Mart.
Easy Mart.
When he went the one that was 10 kilometres away instead of the one that was 400 metres away.
Yes, that one. And the dogs at the time tried to say, it's not an issue. It destabilised them. There is no question that had an impact on the Bulldogs, no matter what they want to say about it. And that really annoyed the people at that club. That really annoyed Gus, I know for a fact. I know Cameron Serraldo, it really annoyed him. And I don't know the full impact it had on the playing group, but they didn't need that at the time of season. And now Brisbane are dealing with it. So, and all year long, Michael Maguire's tried to adjust that culture there. When he walked into the place, he walked into it, I think it was on the day when Ezra Mann was either in the news or about, remember, Madge did a press conference.
It was his first press conference.
Yeah, in a blue T-shirt, a grey T-shirt, not in Broncos gear, and he had to answer questions about Ezra, I think at the time.
The car crash.
Yeah, the car crash. You're sitting here blank-faced like you don't know what day of the week
listening to your story.
And now, he's spent the last 12 months making a big, a concerted effort to try and change that culture. And now we're dealing with a bloke drinking from a toilet.
Don't bring
all right. Well, now we're dealing.
You can't bring Reece Walsh into cultural issues with that particular incident. That's not.
Well, according to News Corp, he needs a babysitter now.
Well, that's fine, but it's got nothing to do with culture.
All right. Okay. Let's take the idea of going out on the drink at this time of year and turning up to training, whatever. Right. That's not good for the club. And he's a vital player. And I haven't talked to Michael Maguire about it, but you could imagine how angry he'd be about that. Like, he's someone he invested in. He put him ahead of other players. The way he helped turn his career around got him into Origin. And this is how you repay the club. Is that acceptable? I don't think so.
Well, it's clearly not, isn't it? Because is it because he's been axed? So that's the difference, I guess, in this situation between the Bulldogs last year is they actually defended Josh Adokar. If you remember back, Gus went out there and
because Josh Adokar told him.
Because Josh Adokar's message was, "I've done nothing wrong."
So Gus backed his player.
Gus backed his player.
He went on Twitter.
Yeah, and he said there was nothing in the story. Turns out police thought differently.
Yeah.
So
Josh Adokar was no longer a Bulldog.
And how do you reckon that went down with Gus?
Well, he's not at the club anymore, is he? So that tells you exactly how he felt about it. But whereas this situation, the Broncos are in control and Michael Maguire's drawn a line in the sand.
All right. So, do you think it's an offence that should get him sacked from the club?
I don't know the ins and outs. So I
don't know. I wasn't there, so I don't know the full ins and outs. But the timing of it, just from what we can see, is it that serious? Is it one which brings into question his position at the club? Like, how would his team feel about it?
Shibasaki, he's talking about here. Yeah. Oh, you look at it, I can't think of too many atrocities that he's been involved with. It might be stuff behind the scenes that he's a bit afraid with.
I'm just saying on this one-off. Like,
on this one-off? No way.
On the eve of the finals.
Well, stuffed up. To what extent? To what extent?
I don't know. I'm just saying, is it that bad?
You can't. Well, if we don't know the extent of,
but if
he's turned up to training blithering and can't talk and can't walk, then that's okay. That's different. But if he's had a couple of nights before,
I'm just talking about the timing of it. Like,
no, the timing's irrelevant.
Irrelevant on the
in terms of sacking someone. You're asking about sacking someone. The timing is irrelevant in sacking someone.
Could it jeopardise his position?
Yeah, well, it has.
It's not putting him in a great light, but I don't think it's crime of the century.
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to get to the facts first before
that's fair. That's fair.
Say he should be sacked or not.
Our next topic.
What do you want me to be clickbait?
If it turns into that, then we know that society.
It is a disgrace. Get rid of him. Is that what you want?
Mate, don't be like that.
Hey, I wasn't mocking Buzz.
I thought you were.
Hey.
Hey, so on our rundown, we've got like little introductory notes and, dot points. And the term, the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yep.
So producer Sam, I reckon he's pretty proud of this. And well might he be. Because he's come up with Brandon Smith, the Gouda, the Bag, and the Radley. It's pretty good.
Speaking of headlines,
that's pretty damn good.
That is pretty good.
He should be working at your joint.
And that's after he's had Reece plumbing Walsh. That's good. You didn't notice that one a bit earlier,
did notice
did
that. I was
Reece plumbing.
The next one, Disgruntled Dragons. He got ahead of himself. He spent so much time in the first two. He got to the second.
Well, you know what that is?
He can't even spell.
Oh, hang on, what about the last one? There's another one.
People wouldn't realise behind the scenes. Producer Sam used to run this podcast. He's been removed from the show. I don't know what happened in the background. Cultural reasons.
He got a promotion.
Cultural reasons. And he's come back today while Curtis, our producer's away, and he's tried to make an immediate impact. And I have to say, he has. So, Curtis, lift your game.
I know what. Yes, Dragons, thank you. I thought he made a mistake. Yeah, no. Jack DeBellin's jumper. Oh, sorry. He's 3 for 3 there.
Jack Bird's jumper.
Jack Bird. Jack Bird?
Yeah, it was Jack Bird, I thought.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was a Jack. Anyway, right on top of it. Back to Brandon Smith. Danny, you went pretty hard in your article on the weekend. Some people say too hard. Should you have gone there? How did you weigh it up as to kind of paint him in the light that he is?
Sydney were happy.
But he's obviously got a few issues going on in the background at the moment. He'll be out there on the weekend playing against the Roosters. But how much did you weigh that one up to say that he's got a serious gambling problem?
Chammy says South Sydney weren't happy. Well, they knew about. They to their credit, they did their research before signing Brandon Smith. Going way back when, I don't think the Roosters did their research before signing Brandon Smith. This is an issue that's been bubbling in the background for quite some time. I've approached Brandon several times about, wanting to talk about this with him and write a story. And for months and months, I've treated it with respect and haven't done anything. I've known the majority of details, which I've put some of them out there now about needing a mentor, Rogan Yates, from memory his name is, and owing players at the Roosters money. I went and approached a player he owed from another club last week, face to face, to say, I know that Brandon owed you money.
Face to face? What, he knocked on his door?
It doesn't matter how I did it, Chammy.
I like it.
He actually goes to training sometimes.
I said, listen, I know this has happened. I know you've got the money back. You don't know how you got the money back. It's because the Roosters insisted that it came back to you. And he was surprised by that. He was surprised I knew anything about it. And look, I was happy for this story to remain in the background about Brandon, because he's a very popular, well-liked, charming character who he's mates with a lot of the media. I think he's in tipping comps or fantasy leagues and whatever they are with certain people around.
Non-rugby league.
Yeah, non-rugby league, yeah, which I don't know if you're part of, Chan.
No, I don't do NFL.
But anyway, I'm just saying he is, right? So he's got it. And I was happy for it to let it slide and let him, go through all the process. But once a police situation became part of it, where part of it is allegations about gambling, I think it was a fair and reasonable thing to put it in the public eye. And whether you say South's unhappy, well, it's not really my problem.
Yeah.
Have you got blowback from?
No.
I thought it was fair what you wrote. To be honest with you, I think that the way it's being covered, at the end of the day, it is of public interest at the moment because he is a first grade footballer at a high profile club. His personal life coming into question from police. He's about to face court on September 18. He's implicated another club, his former club. So I think that's fair game, man. But South Sydney is sticking by Brandon.
Yeah, I didn't attack Brandon. I just pointed out what had happened.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't my dealings with him have always been reasonable, and I've gone pretty hard on him.
Yeah, but I think that the feeling out Redfern way, or wherever they are now, Maroubra way, is that the Roosters are trying to air dirty laundry and throw
they can think that
Brandon under the bus.
They're paranoid about all the stadium stuff that's been going on, which is all, Matraville High, poaching juniors. This has got nothing to do with that. This has got to do with from my perspective.
There's history though, Danny. If you go back, South Sydney.
I'm saying from my perspective.
I know you're not. I know. You, at the end of the day, you're doing your job getting information. Whoever wants to tell you the information, that's up to them, and you're just reporting it. But I'm saying from a South Sydney point of view, they're looking at this from the outside thinking, so Latrell's left your club, and I know Latrell feels this way, and I know South Sydney feel this way, that the Roosters have been trying to rubbish and undermine Latrell for years. I'm not saying it's true. That's how South Sydney feel.
Okay, can you explain to me, like I haven't had people necessarily calling me about that. Have you had people trying to discredit Latrell?
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
in what way? Or is this the whole thing about when we see how many games he played for the Roosters compared to how many games he played for Souths? Just all that sort of stuff? Or
character.
You're right.
Grubbiness, whatever it is the allegations are.
Right.
What he does off the field, on the field. There's no doubt there's some tension there between Latrell. Latrell thinks a lot of the negativity in the game is driven by the Sydney Roosters.
But I've seen Latrell in situations where he'll go up and hug Trent Robinson. He'll go and see Boyd Cordner. And of course. In Origin camp, they were thick as thieves, playing golf together.
It's not an individual thing. He does have a decent relationship with some of those guys.
I think a lot of those guys.
Yeah, but South Sydney feel as though there is can we use smear campaign that's been running in the background, right?
Okay.
And now there's the Brandon Smith situation. And as I said, I don't know if there is any truth to these allegations, but South Sydney think again that the Roosters are running a smear campaign.
About Latrell.
No, we're going to Brandon. I'm saying there's history there.
Right.
I brought up Latrell to give you context, and now the Brandon Smith situation is there.
Seriously, I've known about this Brandon Smith stuff for ages.
I know.
Yeah, and it's not before he went to South, before he was talking to Souths.
But it sheds light on the animosity between the two clubs. Yeah. They constantly think, and this situation right now with the young kid that they've just signed, I think his mother's Greek, and South Sydney now put in a complaint saying he wouldn't have gone and signed with the Roosters if he wasn't afforded the luxury of training out of their turf at Matraville Sports, which is their issue at the moment. The Roosters are training their young teams out of South Sydney territory.
What's got to do with him being Greek?
Well, Nick loves a Greek guy.
Well, so does Nick Pappas.
Yeah, but Nick loves a Greek guy.
So is he going to sign Lockie Ilias?
Well, he looked at it at one point. Yeah. Karianis might be playing there in the next few weeks.
Hey, what about back to the...
I think Nick thought I was Greek for the first few years, then he stopped answering my calls and he realised.
What about the fact that you've had to report on a player that is widely liked by a lot of people, and you would have, affable kind of guy, easy to go up to. Have you ever had that where you've gone, oh, this is going to be a bit tougher than it ordinarily is because I know this guy?
Well, it just happened for me. I get along with Victor Radley, and I had to make the call to him. We were about to go on 100% footy when I got the tip around him being named in the police report that Brandon Smith had allegedly unlawfully supplied dangerous drugs to Victor Radley. Victor Derek Radley was on the police report, and I had to call him. And it's a tough conversation.
How'd you go with it? How did you approach it?
Now I wasn't going to bring up the fact that I spoke to him, but Trent Robinson in his press conference mentioned that the journo rang Victor and then Victor rang the club. So I won't go into specifics around what was said, but I did ring him to say, this is the information that I have got. At the time, I wasn't going to name him because I hadn't physically seen I'd been told what was in the report. Yep. But I wanted to see that he was actually there before I said Victor Radley. So I said Sydney Roosters teammate. I actually said teammates, which I took back. Should have been just teammate. That's what it was in the police charge. So I informed Victor that I was going to go with this story. I said to him, mate, I'm not asking for a comment. If you want to give me a comment, that's but I'm giving you the time to go speak to your lawyers, to your club, to let you know a courtesy, to do whatever you have to do. But this situation's coming out. I spoke to the Roosters. I tried to ring Trent Robinson. I rang him 4 times. Didn't hear back from him. I tried to ring Nick Politis. It was his birthday. I wasn't aware. I eventually got a hold of him. By that time, the story, I'd already gone to air. And I was speaking with the Roosters up until about 11 o'clock that night.
Did they call you back after you went to air?
Well, no. We pre-recorded that. We pre-recorded the interview on 100% footy. So by the time that it went live...
That was probably at around 8 o'clock-ish by the time we got to that, or 7:45, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And the show was going to air at 8:45, so they would have probably seen it at 9:30 or something.
And look, Trent Robinson's issue, and I I understand it, was the fact that I said Sydney Roosters teammates. I should have said teammate. But his other issue was the fact that I'd implicated the other players, the other 6 players who were on the golf trip.
Yeah.
But I stand by the fact that is relevant to the story. The fact that Victor Radley, and like I said, it's going to be in court, and he's not up for any... His involvement in this isn't a police investigation, isn't part of the police investigation. It's apparently Queensland law to name... If you're going to charge someone with supply, you have to name who he was supplying to. That's why Victor Radley's name was in the police sheet.
Allegedly supplying to.
Yeah, well, that were the allegations. So the fact that the other guys were there is relevant because when I found out the date was provided, June 7, Sunshine Coast... Immediately, you're thinking, well, where is he? Why is he up on the Sunshine Coast?
Go straight to the Instagram.
Well, that's right. He went to social media.
The Instagram.
And
Instagram.
To the Instagram.
To the Instagram. I sound 47, don't I?
I know. Yeah. And then I found the fact that they were all there together. Now, Trent Robinson spoke about it's speculation from a journo wanted to be first on a story. Well, it's not speculation. It's in a police report. Is it fact that he received the drugs? No, we don't know yet. It is fact that Victor Radley... is alleged to have received or have been supplied. Now the term
sourced.
So have you spoken to Trent Robinson since?
I spoke to him at least 10 times that night. No issues.
No issues?
No, it was fine. Yep. I can understand his point. He's got to defend his club in this situation. They're on the verge of a final series. They're in great form.
They handled it horribly in Melbourne on Friday night, didn't they?
But that's what I sent someone a message after saying, you're welcome. But
you could not help yourself.
No, I couldn't help myself.
You claimed victory.
No, I was mucking around because at the end of the day,
I'm sure they're happy to get that text, right?
The Roosters are doing and Trent Robinson is saying what he needs to say to protect his players. He brought up Chad Townsend. He's a father of 4. I didn't implicate those guys I didn't say they had done anything wrong.
And in fairness, doing a live report like that, in fairness to you, Chammy, you can make a slip of the tongue, or you can get something slightly.
Yeah, I should have said teammate, not teammates.
And but that's. I'm not trying to defend you, but it can happen like that.
Yeah.
But then again, I can understand why the Roosters would be angry as well.
Well, they were angry. Then the next day, I think there were photos
Yeah.
used of Chad Townsend and James Tedesco on the golf trip, which I didn't do in the beginning.
No.
I didn't want them on the show because, yes, I think that's relevant to name the fact they were on a golf trip with 6 other players, but I didn't name any of those teammates. I tried to handle it in the right way, but the facts were always going to come out. Like, what did they expect? If I didn't do it in that situation then and there on 100% footy or in that story, it was only going to be within the hour that it was all going to come out.
It was very accessible too. Like, I mean, when your report eventually went to air, I got many a message screenshotting those golf shots.
Yes.
And like from punters, from anyone else, just who have your number, and it wasn't hard for them to make that conclusion, I guess, or to jump to that conclusion.
Well, the other part of this then is the situation around Nick Politis' comments when he came out at the start of the year, and I'm talking to you earlier about Latrell Mitchell.
Oh, yeah.
But Nick Politis came out at the start of the year and said this club will have a zero tolerance around drug use. If I'm paraphrasing, but if we see someone over a white substance or snorting something or with drugs,
that's probably a shot at Souths.
Of course it was.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
And he's put the Roosters in a situation where now, and we're going to see what happens. That's why the criticism is there. That's why there's scrutiny on this, because of what Nick Politis said. And South Sydney knew at the time, and the Roosters people knew at the time, that Nick, what he was doing was saying, this doesn't happen at our club. Our culture doesn't allow this. And that may be the case, but it was a shot after the Latrell Mitchell situation and after the Ezra Mam situation.
That would have enraged Blake Solly and others, I'd imagine.
It did. Yeah. I can guarantee you it did. Yeah. But there were also people, the Roosters, thinking, why are we putting a target on our back? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it wouldn't be as big of a deal as it is right now if the Sydney Roosters chairman hadn't come out and said, we won't tolerate
line in the sand sort of stuff, wasn't it? It was like a real squeaky clean.
Well, they're going to be put in a situation, they potentially are going to be put in a situation where he's going to have to make a tough decision in the coming months once those facts that Trent Robinson is after come to light.
What do we see on Friday night then? Fireworks both on the field and in the director's function before. Blake Solly and Nick Politis playing run at me's up the top there. Run it straight.
They don't like each other, clearly.
And there's some Roosters people who don't like Brandon. I'm not just saying on the field, but off the field. Their initial reaction was Brandon squealed. That was the initial reaction.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the fact that Victor was implicated in this.
Implicated others in it.
But that's not the case because
wasn't it in messages?
There was correspondence that was taken both off the drug dealer's phone and Brandon Smith's alleged drug dealer's phone, and Brandon Smith's phone was confiscated between when he landed in the Gold Coast a few weeks back, and then he got it back when he was leaving. So, but the Roosters' initial thoughts were Brandon was to blame. Yeah. So there's not a lot of love there.
Oh no, there's
not a lot of love with Brandon Smith.
You look at Cam Murray. Does he play if this is not the Roosters on the weekend?
You wouldn't think so?
I don't know.
I just wish Latrell was playing. We want Latrell to play this game. Has Wayne completely ruled him out?
I think he's got it. Well, when the team's named, I don't think he was there.
Wasn't in the 22?
I can't remember.
What I want to see, though, at the 20-minute mark, is the lights to go out and then the Stone Cold Steve Austin music to come on and Latrell runs down the race with his jersey on and he just starts cleaning house. Just add a bit of theatre.
Well, that's when Brandon, I don't know if he's going to start or not, but there'll definitely be some extra.
He might tell his mates before the game. Yes. I'm not sure.
Latrell Mitchell. No, he wasn't named at all. Oh, well. Yeah. There you go.
Can I go to a break now, Chammy?
Yeah, okay, I'll let you do that.
Yeah, we'll come back with the Dragons, Canberra, and final round storylines. Dragons, disgruntled, playing group, load of crap being reported in the media. Won 11 games in 2024 to finish 11th, currently 15th.
Well, you started this.
Where's the load of crap?
No, I'm saying, is it a load of crap?
I thought
that they're disgruntled, the players.
Well, Wadler wrote it, so.
Hang on. I wrote this weeks ago.
Burgergate.
Yeah, I wrote it weeks ago. But I think that it's bubbling up again, isn't it? Or it's becoming a topic again on 360 the last couple of nights. There's been suggestions of disgruntled players in the Dragons group.
You're watching 360 these days?
Well, people send me things or...
Just say you're watching.
No,
it's okay.
I watch it occasionally, yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah, I do too, but I didn't know you were publicly admitting this anymore.
Oh.
No, he's always said he's watched 360. He loves it. He's waiting for his photo with his big...
Yeah, they put that
fro coming back on.
Now, I've talked to the Dragons about this and said, look, you know, like they didn't like my story about the burger symbol, all that sort of stuff. I had, I had good sources on that. But obviously there were denials, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, now this has come up again. And the feeling from the Dragons, not from me, the feeling from the Dragons is this is coming to a light because Lockie Ilias is in reserve grade still and not getting a go.
And carving in reserve grade.
And we know who hosts the show is Braith.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the Dragons are saying.
I thought there was a ceasefire. There wasn't much sledging going on the last few months. You're back, but now we did the
Shammy, what part of it I'm just presenting the facts, what the Dragons are saying to me. Okay. Now, I don't think that's a wild conclusion for them to draw because there has been a lot of support.
Well, it's the same conclusions that it's the same thing that was happening at South Sydney we were accusing as well, right? With the Ilias stuff there towards the end, a lot of it.
So there's been a lot of, there has been no more publicised New South Wales Cup football than Lockie Ilias.
Lockie Galvin got a lot.
Well, he played, the one. Come on,
Selwyn Cobbo got a bit.
Yeah, but season long, right?
That was a New South Wales Cup.
Are you just being facetious?
No, I'm being serious. It hasn't been, has it been that big of a deal?
No, he's drifted into full smart-ass mode over here.
Full smart-ass mode. He's hit the button.
Yeah.
He wants to be, because he's Braith's mate, so he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to offend his mate. But I'm just telling, I'm not having a crack. I'm just saying this is what the thought is, right?
Yeah, I get it. I am stirring the pot. No, I get it.
Are you agreeing all of a sudden?
I get what you're coming. Yes, I understand the Dragons feel that way.
Yeah, that's how they feel.
I'm mucking around with you. Yes,
and, the talk is always about Kyle and halfback. It won't go away.
But that's not because of Ilias' situation. Ilias could. It doesn't even have to be at the club, and that conversation will still be going on.
That's true.
But Ilias is
but the fact that
a condiment to it.
Yeah, but he's the mayo on top, isn't he?
I don't think so.
He doesn't know what condiment means.
I do. I went to America recently. When they told me, I'm like, what?
Condiment capital of the
world. I don't
need
that.
I just get everything. Incredible.
So anyway, what do you think of it, Chammy?
I don't think they're related, to be honest with you. I think the criticism of Kyle.
No, but I'm saying the disgruntled players and.
I'm not hearing it as strong as you are. No, I'm not.
No, I like recently I haven't been hearing it, but the 360 have brought it up. And so I just checked with the Dragons and said, was there something new that I need to know about? And I called a couple of people, and I also called someone who said that's why it's happening. And whether it is or not, I don't have evidence of that because I'm not in their shoes. So,
and it wasn't that long ago that Shane Flanagan was on the books of the network, which broadcast 360.
He knew that once this Ilias situation was happening, that he was in for a hard time.
What? I just don't think the Ilias situation is related to the criticism that Kyle and Shane are getting.
Disgruntled players.
Okay, well
that's separate.
Just to add on, I read this morning that Mick Ennis, I think it was reported in the Herald, is going to step away from Manly and look for a bigger role as an assistant, or potentially maybe go for a head coach role. Is there any whispers that where he might lob? Obviously, he has that relationship. I think he's got a relationship there with Shane Flanagan. Perhaps he goes to the Dragons. Or
there's a vacancy there, isn't there?
Depends what happens with Dean Young as well.
Well, Dean Young's in for the Newcastle job.
Yeah, Carr's gone to Castleford, has he?
Yeah, I can't remember.
But yeah, Dean Young, he's a strong contender for the Knights job. So
he's in the top 3 at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah. So yeah, it could be an opportunity for him there.
So with Ennis, I was told a few weeks back that he'd been offered an extension. I assumed he'd take that because a year ago, Manly went to Ennis's manager, George Mimas, and said, "You're the succession plan."
The succession plan.
And that happened a year ago. And I don't know if part of the succession plan means he has to go do full-time work somewhere else, away from Anthony Seibold. I don't know that.
Yep.
But it does seem a little bit unusual to me that this has happened. I haven't done my digging on it properly at this point, so I can't give you more than that. But I would have thought that if you have got a person in your system who you want to be the next person, you keep him there and up his role there.
Well, obviously what you reported a few weeks ago about their feelings that a lot of the trouble's been driven by SFX, the company managed by
paranoia.
George Mimas.
There's absolute paranoia around it.
So maybe they're clearing the deck saying we don't want them involved.
No, but he was offered an extension. So he was offered an extension.
Back to the rundown and these magnificent headlines. Canberra flying under the radar.
That's not as good as the other ones.
It's pretty good.
It's not as good.
I like that.
Pretty
I
good.
like that. Yeah.
The last one's crap. It just says final round storylines. But for Canberra, so Ricky reckons that his first minor premiership's 1990.
Can I go back a little bit?
Can I just get to the first point?
I just remembered something.
What?
We were talking about Flanagan earlier. Remember last week when I got the tip live on air that Lockie Ilias was
Yeah.
live on pod?
Yeah.
Yeah, live on recording, which is then put out later. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. And then by the end of the pod, I clarified that the mail was dud mail and that Kyle Flanagan was going to be there.
Yeah. And Lockie wasn't in
and
the
Lockie wasn't in the team. I got a call last week after the show.
Yeah.
Shane Flanagan.
Yeah.
Well, he was listening to it live.
Well, I don't know. He
had
rang me.
Friend of the show, Shane Flanagan.
He said, mate, my sister just rang me and said, you're telling people
Yeah.
that Kyle Flanagan's been dropped.
Sister rang him. Yeah.
I said, well, your sister didn't listen to the whole podcast then, I take it. She said she heard it on radio. I had to ring Kurt. I said, did this end up on radio or something? Thankfully, we got to the bottom of it, and I assured Shane that I just I clarified the mail that we were getting by the end of the podcast. He was laughing about it. It was good fun with Shane Flanagan. So, yes, just wanted to let you know that.
Shout out to Shane Flanagan's sister.
Yeah, who's a listener.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Ricky Stewart reckons that Canberra are the forgotten team, and to the point of, like we've discussed this before, that if you're not playing in Sydney and Brisbane, you're kind of off reservation a little bit. So,
hang on.
Are they the forgotten team?
Was he complaining about it?
I don't know. Like it, maybe.
Like for the majority of the year, I think you're happy to be not in the headlines.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to deal with Champion I in Vegas. That was enough for them. Where
Baseball gate.
I was thinking about that.
Elevator gate, I think probably.
So their season started with an inflatable baseball bat and a lift, and it's just gone so well since then.
They'll love that, won't they?
Yeah, and my favourite part of that story in Vegas was the red carpet at Fremont Street afterwards. I can admit this now. I was standing next to Cooper Johns, and he was promoting a betting. I don't know. We've got a betting company, and he said, "I've got a blow up baseball bat." I said, "Cooper, when I'm going to grab Hudson Young in a second, do you mind just bringing that bat into picture at some point?" So he started whacking Hudson with the bat during my interview, and he was a good sport about it. Then they moved on, and Ricky was next in line.
Yeah.
And he went up to Cooper, who's mates with Ricky through his dad, Matthew.
Yes.
And he produced the baseball bat to get during the interview or trying to get an interview. And Ricky shoved him and told him to F off. And I don't know whether Cooper's got an apology yet or Ricky's. I don't know whether he tried to call Ricky.
Cooper doesn't deserve an apology.
Well, or either way, like whether there's been.
Find out.
I don't know if there's a feud still going on between Ricky and Cooper.
I hope so.
Yeah.
What have the Raiders been like in terms the deal? You went down there.
Yeah, they were great at the start of the year.
Season. They're happy to open up and tell
the
their
Raiders
side of the story.
are probably in the top 2 or 3 clubs to deal with.
They
are.
They have been really good.
They've been great.
Really
They've been
good.
great. They opened the doors in Vegas. They allowed me into like team meetings on the team bus to go to trainings, and I sat in and got a first-hand look at the way things operate. Now,
did you ever write a story about it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thanks for reading, champion.
Oh, champion!
So hang on,
first one.
About how long into the podcast?
35 minutes in. It's taken that long.
I can't.
There it goes.
I can't read everything you write.
Fine, mate. I'm mucking around. Don't get sensitive.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Champion.
You can't dish out a champion and say I'm mucking around.
Anyway,
load of garbage.
They were fantastic to deal with, and have still been. I went down recently, did some interviews with Ricky and Hudson Young. The club's great. Don Ferner down from the CEO. They are. If they were in Sydney, they probably wouldn't be that way. But anything you need out of Canberra, they're more than willing to.
Well, their media guy's good too, isn't he?
Yeah, Benny Pollock's a great operator. So,
how important is that role? The media manager gets what you guys are doing, as opposed to just being the ally of the coach and putting up the blockades.
Oh, there's some gatekeepers out there. They're horrible at their jobs. Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm just saying.
The obvious tack to take now is name names, but I know you won't because
Jesus.
Well,
Jamie, that's a heavy.
No, he's saying how helpful is it in the role to have someone who gets us? I said the gatekeepers are horrible to deal with.
But I think all of the media managers, in their defence, know what we want. And they know what we need.
This is what I just said. The gatekeeper media managers who have to be that person.
But they don't often get a choice.
Yeah, that's right. They're gatekeepers.
The coach will decide what we can get. And some clubs are more accessible than others. Is probably a more...
Stop making me out to be the bad guy. I'm not bagging anyone. I said the gatekeeper media managers are horrible to deal with.
You said they're horrible at their jobs.
Yes, they're horrible at the jobs for us. You asked the question in relation to us.
Hang on, no. Calm
No,
down.
don't start clickbaiting me again, champion.
He's awake now.
You
said I didn't have a go at anyone 10 seconds after saying they're horrible at their jobs.
Those kind of...
I'd hate to see you give a compliment.
And we're leaving that in the podcast.
I don't care.
Oh.
The gatekeeper media manager is horrible to deal with. They're horrible at their job.
I'm with him.
Now you're with me. No. You want to bag me, now you're with me.
No, in general, I'm with you.
Yeah,
across
okay.
all
I was
sports.
speaking in general.
But...
I didn't name names.
Give us a percentage of in rugby league.
The gatekeeper to helpful friend?
Yeah. Because our listeners are probably on the side of the gatekeeper to make it harder for you guys. So,
it's not even about making it harder. It's about the whole... It's just this attitude towards we don't... Like, anything you do, we don't care about promoting us. We don't care about sharing good stories. Our only objective here is to make sure that you guys are not involved with this football club.
So, percentage-wise, how many of them are there?
I'd say it's probably 50-50.
Okay, give us a podium of the good ones.
I said the Raiders are in top 3.
Raiders? Okay.
Yeah. Penrith used to be number 1. They've sort of slipped back since over the last...
So hang on, you're having a crack at their media guy, Michael Block.
No, the media guy's sensational. I'm saying as a football club, Ivan's become a lot harder to deal with. He doesn't care. Back in the day, Ivan used to be happy to put any player up, doesn't care about who talks, about playing games with team selections. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. But
he hasn't got to the point of like Monty Burns in the
media managers. In the media managers'
Simpsons.
top podium, Michael Block's there, but Penrith as a club have become hard to deal with.
Okay, good luck with them next time.
Harder. They're still great.
I'm just watching.
What else you got? Come on, help me.
I'm not.
Parramatta media manager and Jason Rolls they're doing a good job. I wouldn't say some of their players enjoy it though.
Which one?
Tigers haven't had a media manager for a long time until now.
They've
Yeah.
got one. Good
So Richo was their media manager, so they were horrible.
Far out. We got 3 weeks in, 3 straight weeks, and not mentioning the Tigers and not saying anything bad about that footy club, and you went and ruined it right towards the end of the third week.
Because he doesn't like Richo.
God's sakes, Chamis!
No, it's got nothing to do with not liking Richo. He was a horrible media manager. Did you see the statement he put out when Lockie Galvin decided he was leaving? He blew it all up.
They got a good one now.
Because he wanted to be a media manager. This is not a personal attack. I'm giving you facts. You want podium.
Give me podium. No, you've turned it into... I was trying to say...
Positive.
Give us the best
he was being
3,
positive.
I was
working it out loud. Sorry
like
for
a battery.
Sorry for doing my job.
You've made it negative again. Mr. Negative.
Anyway, you just got me banned from half the world. and for what? For naming players that naming people that none of our listeners have ever heard of.
Okay, and in fairness, Chammy, you don't often deal with media managers, do you?
Yeah, you just
go
to
when I ring them to tell them what I'm doing. Yeah,
but you don't ask them for help.
I think I at least I will go to most media managers and tell them what I'm doing before it comes out. Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Canberra though, do they fly under the radar, Danny, in your eyes?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean,
and has that helped them this season?
Yes.
On this amazing run of form.
Yes, it has. And look, Ricky, in terms of media operators, Ricky is right up there. Like he knows the Sydney media inside out. He's been in this game for a long time. He was extremely well coached in that area by the late John Fordham, who was an agent to the Stars, John Laws, Alan Jones, obviously Ricky. He had a mile of fantastic clients, and Fordo taught Ricky how the media works. And Ricky knows how to stay in on the right side of the media on a lot of occasions. You know, if you burn him, you burn him. And I don't know how hard it is to come back from that. Some people probably can't come back from that. But generally, Ricky knows the value of the media, and you know, sometimes he's not always in control of his comments. Ricky, he can lose.
He's an emotional guy.
He can lose it sometimes.
Well, even if you go back to, you mentioned Vegas and Ricky, like you remember that. You know that's the Hudson Young Morgan Smithies story. Like, I was out at dinner with Carianis, Reedy from the Telegraph. I think maybe Woodsy was at dinner.
I was in my room.
You were in your room because it was past 7:00, and
it's true.
Missing his cat.
Missing his cat.
No
yeah.
cat.
FaceTiming his cat. And
my little boy said to me, Dad, can we get a cat? Like, because he's got people yelling about cats to him.
It's a fair request.
I know he doesn't.
Like friends of ours, friends of ours.
Sorry, keep going with the dinner.
Sorry.
It made me happy. So we're at dinner.
Thanks.
And I'd been sort of getting tips throughout the night that there was something going down with the Canberra players. Ricky is...
Remember I called you and I said, this is what's going on. And you said to me, shit, I'm at dinner with Reedy and Carianis and Ricky's there right now.
And no, Ricky was next door.
Oh, next door.
And he was walking outside. I said, Ricky was next door. Then I said, you call Ricky. Because I had more information about things happening outside hotel rooms. You call Ricky. And then I left dinner after Danny got off the phone. Is that what happened? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ricky then straight away, to his credit, I said, Ricky, this is what we're hearing. And he said straight away, told us everything what went down and said, we're going to give you the truth. We're not going to hide it. He said, and he actually asked for our advice. What do you think we should do? I said, mate, if you don't want this to be a distraction all year or week, then just get all. You don't want anyone digging around what else happened. Put it all out there. Name the players. Get them to talk. Put all the facts out so that in 24 hours the news cycle is done. Otherwise, I'll tell you now, we're going to try and dig. We're going to try and get CCTV footage. Who was involved?
Yeah, but we did try.
Where were they? We did try and get that.
Yeah.
We did try and get CCTV footage, but we weren't trying to get the details of what happened. That was all out there. They spoke.
Yeah.
We weren't. You weren't chasing guys down the street for comment because they were already spoken.
Yeah.
And Canberra, to their credit, handled it really well, and they went on and won, and that was the reason we inspired the run that now sees them in the minor premiership slot.
And when clubs actually trust a journo or journos, whatever, enough to say, what do you think we should do, or what they seek advice. Like, we do this every day, and we deal with these situations every day. It's when they want the journos to be the enemy, that's when I think it gets worse, don't you think? Like when they try and keep you out or lie or whatever.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I think the worst part of the story was that I didn't go back to dinner for a while. Carianis and Reedy knew something was up. My dinner was just sitting there.
Yeah.
And then I left dinner. So sorry guys, I've got to go. I did blow our cover, and they were like, something's going on. And they went and found Ricky and
so you should have been
tried to beat
in
us.
a room with me.
I don't want to be in a room with you.
Jeez,
that's not true. You're always bugging me to hang out with you.
We will be hanging out the Ashes, hopefully.
The Rugby League Ashes.
The Rugby League Ashes.
Not the real Ashes.
We're working on that at the moment.
You going
the
the
real Ashes?
No, we're working on the plans for the Rugby League Ashes if Danny comes along.
You're hanging out with Gordy the whole time.
Boy.
Final round storylines. Okay, quick fire stuff here, gents, to round us out. I know you don't like actually talking about the game.
No, I don't.
Or the games. But
you took my
in
run
a general,
sheet.
I know, because I scrunched this one up in a fit of rage about Captain Tiger over here.
Captain Richo.
Last games for Des and Adam O'Brien. Will they coach in NRL again?
Short answers.
Yeah.
I think that Adam will get an assistant's job without too much trouble. I don't know about Des. He's never going to be an assistant, and I don't know whether he's going to coach a first-grade team
I heard whispers around Adam O'Brien and Cowboys as an assistant, so that'll be interesting.
Yep.
I don't think Des will coach again, no.
I think he'll do rep. I can see Des doing the Australian team.
Maybe.
I'm not trying to get rid of Kevy.
No.
Sounds like it.
No, I can see him. I can see him do that.
I don't know.
Last game for Kieran Foran and DCE at Manly. Kieran Foran at Gold Coast too. Like, they came through together, the same Toyota Cup team at Manly way back when. But DCE is still playing. Kieran, his body has finally gone enough. Who do you admire more about
that's a harsh
their
question.
footy?
I think the resilience of Kieran Foran after everything he's been through from a personal front and also his body as well. I think if you're asking who do you admire in terms of what they've done, I think you can't help but admire what Kieran Foran, the strength and mental fortitude he's shown to be where he is today. From a football point of view, I think that David Cherry Evans has had probably a better footballing career,
DCE, be interesting to see what happens on Friday night there at 4. It is Friday night, 4 Pints? Yeah, I think so. Early game against the Warriors. Joey Walsh is named in 14. Anthony Seibold has said he's going to get 10 to 15 minutes. Whether or not they do the big farewell to DCE and bring him off and everyone claps, or they keep him out there and there's a bit of DCE and Joey Walsh together on the field. Finally.
Hopefully, I think DCE deserves to play that full game. And, when you compare those two careers, I think that the level that DCE has been able to maintain up until this year to be Queensland captain at that age is quite remarkable.
He 100% plays on?
That's the word. Yeah,
100%.
That's the word.
Still got that hunger?
He'll be at the Roosters.
Can the Dolphins still make the 8? You got the vibe of the place, talking to Izzy Katoa.
Good kid, Glenmore Park's finest.
Well, if Roosters win, they can't, right? Is that,
the Roosters win, they can't, yeah. I think the Dolphins will win.
Yeah.
The Raiders are
10 out. Raiders
out, isn't it? Yeah.
The Dolphins should win, but we'll know Friday night in the grudge match whether or not there any hope or not.
And last one, Para, after chopping and changing and putting Dylan Brown in the centres and leaving him out altogether, they've given him the 6 for the last game against Newcastle, his new home.
I like it. I think it is a reward from Jason Riles, a thank you for the way Dylan Brown has handled himself through the whole season. Never spat the dummy. Yeah. When he was dropped, he understood it. Still trained hard.
He's a decent kid.
Oh, he's a great kid. He's a great guy, Dylan
He's
Brown.
made a couple of mistakes here and there, but I think he's a pretty decent guy.
And I think that Jason Riles has shown his true character as well. It's like, okay, I get it. You're not going to be here next year, but mate, this is an example. You have shown to everyone around you what it is to be a first grader.
It's actually a smart move, isn't it, by Riles?
Would they do that with him if he decided to go to a rival publication and still have him on 100% footy and give him the column space?
I'd kick stones, though. So
Bloody oath you would.
Mate,
you'd lose the plot.
You would be frog marched, wouldn't you? Out the door.
Straight away. Give me your pass.
Because you imagine the fire
Laptop
in him.
now.
He's such an angry bloke.
Yes.
Angry? I'm happy.
Rarely.
It's a persona we put for work. Anyway, we're talking about Dylan Brown. Hopefully Para fans get out there. I heard there's going to be a big crowd out there.
What do you mean you've heard that?
I've heard there's going to be a big crowd. Okay. For a team that's down the bottom of the ladder, I think Jason Riles has done a great job this year, and hopefully Para fans get out there and support Dylan Brown as he plays against the club he's abandoning them for.
Have a great week, gents. Enjoy your footy.
I can't believe how much trouble you got me into again.